These are some pictures of the model I have designed, and in this video I am going to give you 3 tips that will drastically improve the quality of your Lego Mocs. I will teach you 3 lessons that I have learned over past 3 years of my designing journey that have changed the most and I wish I known earlier about. The first and the biggest thing that will probably improve your Mocs the most is putting more care into the right proportions and shape of your model. I have always liked building replicas of existing models out of Lego, but when I was younger I always eyeballed all of the sizes and details of models, and this made them look okay, but nothing over the top. But someday when I was browsing YouTube, I have found a video from 2Bricks about how he is designing his models, and in there I have found that he is using printed out images of models that he is building to compare everything he builds to them. And this made me question whether my technique was actually good and whether I shouldn't also have like images that I compare my models to. And when I have tried it on my own, it turned out it makes a huge difference. Because when you are building and you can compare everything you build to a reference image, it turns out with better proportions and better shaping that is more accurate, which is super important in replicating existing models out of Lego. Later, I have also found a website that allows you to do it but better, where you can upload reference images and then draw on them and determine the scale of the image, and then you can see all of the measurements of the model that your model has to have. The link for that website will be in the description, and on that website you can find a tutorial for it, so I don't have to explain you everything now. If you are liking this video so far, you can check out my full course about building Lego Mocs, in which I have included all of the knowledge I have learned over past 3 years. The link is in the description. Another thing that improved my Mocs a lot was actually finding out what building techniques actually are and how to learn them. When I was younger, I kept seeing people use advanced building techniques, but I couldn't really tell what they actually are. And someday I decided to screw it all and no longer look at other people's models and build something on my own. And after a couple weeks of experimenting with bricks, I figured out that building techniques are actually smart part usages. And to learn building techniques, you just have to look at the parts and explore all of the ways that you could use them and learn all of the connections of them. And when you do that for all of the most common parts, you basically know the advanced building techniques. And it's just knowing how parts connect together. And when you later combine some of that parts, then it gets even more advanced because it gets much more complicated. But basically, it's just knowing your parts and knowing where they can be used. And it's so simple, but it's not explained anywhere. The final point that have improved my Mocs a lot was to always take time before releasing my models. In the past, I always rushed to release my models as soon as I have finished building them, but only a couple months ago I actually realized that it was hurting me a lot because I often find myself, after a couple weeks or months after releasing my models, I felt kind of embarrassed while looking at them because they had a lot of points that looked off, and when I revisited them and redesigned them, they looked a lot better. So recently I have figured out that maybe I shouldn't rush releasing the models and actually take my time. And then when I tried it and let my model sit a couple weeks after theoretically finishing it, I have noticed that it also has a lot of flaws, but then I was able to redesign it with a fresh new perspective before actually releasing it. And then when I have released this model after like couple of these little redesigning runs, the final model was looking much better, and I have saved myself a lot of time on redoing the instructions for them and the renders for them. And this also improved the quality of my Mocs a lot. So to recap, taking time when building your Lego Mocs has only positives, because if you rush the model, you will end up having to redo it anyway, so when you take your time, it is way better. That would be all for this video. If you liked it, you can subscribe to my channel, and if you want to learn how to start building a Lego Moc from scratch, you can click on the video on the screen right now.